All right. Chat is now live. Hi, I wonder how everyone's doing today. I have chemo this Wednesday, so I'm gonna get ready for that. Or, sorry, not Wednesday. Chemo brain. I have chemo tomorrow, and I have to get ready for it tonight. So I like to usually have a little pre-ritual thing that I do where I pack my bags and get everything all set up for it, so that way everything's ready to go in the morning when I have to go. I went and I actually got my blood transfusion today, or not my blood drawn today. You have to get your blood drawn every time before you get chemo. This is my first live stream. I'm kind of excited. I've always wanted to do a live stream before, because I don't have any followers right now, but I like the idea of being able to interact with people, and like especially if they have questions. Actually, one of the reasons why I started my channel is because I have family, friends, acquaintance, where they want to know and they want to ask questions about my cancer. And so, when you go online and you type in cancer diagnosis, there's actually quite a bit. So it's kind of, there's a lot of videos that you can find online saying, about your cancer diagnosis, but there's not a whole lot of YouTube channels that actually talk about like their cancer and like what they go through. So I kind of thought I could be, maybe a channel where someone can do that, because I know I wanted more answers when I was starting out. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a professional, it's all my personal opinion, tips and tricks, but it's still my experience so far, and I have 8 more treatments to go. I've gone through 4 now. So I kind of wanted to be someone that can make YouTube videos and, give advice, give what tips and tricks I've learned or picked up, because I really wanted that for myself when I was diagnosed, because getting diagnosed is really scary. And, nowadays technology is really good. Science and medicine has really moved along. 10 years ago, Hodgkin's lymphoma was a lot more deadlier than it is now. It's still cancer, it's still not, nobody wants cancer, but medicine has really come a long way, especially for Hodgkin's lymphoma. Even if you have stage 4 Hodgkin's, depending on what type, of course, but even stage 4 Hodgkin's, like sometimes the outcome, is like 90%. So you still have really good chances these days, but it's still really scary when you get diagnosed, especially if you're a AYA, a young adult, adolescent young adult, which I feel like we don't really have a lot of advocates for. So I really just wanted to be able to reach out and be that person that, can give insight. One of the first things I did when I was in the process of getting diagnosed, because at least in my story and in my case, we had a really good idea. Actually, from day one, we had a good idea because of how I got diagnosed, which I actually have a YouTube channel, a YouTube video already about. But mine was such a large tumor right here in my neck that the minute we found it, and I had explained my symptoms, it was pretty. We had a good idea already, but of course with Hodgkin's and with a lot of cancers, the only way you can actually know if you have it or not is by getting a biopsy. So we still had a really good idea when it happened. And sorry, the brain fog is real. So yeah, when I first was in the process of getting diagnosed, I would watch videos, about people's symptoms, and it's really hard because everyone gets diagnosed differently. And anytime you go on to Google and you type in your symptoms, crazy illness is always going to come up. Like, you can type in that you get the shakes, that you're feeling cold, that you're, very tired, and immediately it can send you to 6 different types of illnesses that are says are fatal, and that's just why they always say you should never go on Google. Just because the minute you Google any symptom, you could just say that your eyelashes seem really thin, and immediately you're gonna get that you have alopecia or something. Like, that's just how it is. And so I was trying to watch YouTube videos to learn, if my symptoms could possibly be, cancers, because that's what my doctors told me I might potentially have. And you see a lot of videos saying how I got diagnosed and, what the process was, but after that, there's no videos. So that's why I wanted to make a YouTube channel, because I wanted to, be able to reach out, and that way, when people have a question about, what chemo's like, because I get asked that all the time, or, how to combat some of the side effects. Like, I've learned some great tips from people at my cancer center that I meet with. I go to a adolescent young adult group, and they've given me such great advice that I've learned from them. And so I really wanted to be that person that could do that. Tonight I'll have to prepare my chemo bag, which is pretty self-explanatory. Most of my medicine is already there, other than the one nausea medicine that comes home with me, but I love to pack usually a blanket because it gets pretty cold in there. I love to pack a medicine blanket. It's really warm. It was actually given to me by the cancer center. Super soft. It was homemade. It's like the sweetest thing that they gave me. I love that blanket. I bring it with me every single time. And it really means a lot to me that I have that blanket. I love bringing that. I love to download certain shows onto my iPad. I like to download the more the shows that I've either already seen before or that I just like, and then that way it's okay if they run if I fall asleep, because chemo makes you so tired. It really drains you. I also try to drink as much water as I can. Sorry, my nose is running like crazy. I think it's like allergies. I'm having such bad brain fog today. I'm so sorry. Another thing that I love bringing to chemo is I like bringing different socks. They give you the ones that have the rubber on the bottom so that they have a grip, but those ones, they're not comfy. And it's funny because even if it's a warm day, like sometimes there's been times where I've gone to chemo or to the doctors, and it's a hot day, and I think, oh my gosh, I don't want to wear sweats, or I don't want to wear socks, I just want to make sure. But I wear it because it's comfy, and I go in there, I'm like, I'm so glad I wore this, because I think I would have been really uncomfortable if I had worn, Another thing that I really like for chemo is I really, really enjoy, sometimes I like to bring my DS or my Nintendo Switch that I got for Christmas, and I like to play games. I get really, really tired about probably 3 hours into chemo, because my transfusion takes about 7 hours. And then usually I'm there for almost 8, sometimes 9 hours, depending on how fast they're able to get moving. And especially if there's a little bit of delay or they're short staffed, usually it only takes about 6 hours at longest. They move pretty fast there at my cancer center. And about 3 hours in, I start to get really sleepy and tired, so I tend to not stay awake the whole time and fall asleep pretty quickly, which is fine, because that way, it's kind of a running joke with a lot of cancer patients that, you can't feel the side effects if you're knocked out or unconscious, so it works. I don't mind sleeping. And then that way too, whoever's with me, it kind of gives them a break to go and get lunch, because hospital food is disgusting and nobody wants to eat hospital food. So I like to get ready for my nap once they give me my Ativan and my Benadryl. And then whoever's with me, family-wise, they are able to go and get themselves something to eat, go get themselves lunch. At my particular care center, you're actually not allowed to have a lot of people in your treatment room with you. Like, you're only allowed to bring one person to treatment, which for me works out because I don't have a lot of people volunteering to go to my treatment anyways. But it's still nice to give them a break, because it's pretty boring to be with someone at chemo. And I personally like to just watch my shows and then fall asleep. I don't really like to talk very much because you feel so sick. You get pretty nauseated and stuff. And even though they give you really strong nausea medication, it's still just one of those things where, at least for me, I don't really want to talk to someone. I'd rather sit there and read a book, watch my show, maybe listen to music. It's just what I like to do. It's my routine so far, and it's worked with me now. So, yeah, I love to put shows on, like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, just silly sitcoms like that, because they're easy to fall asleep to, and I've seen them all on The Office. That way, if I fall asleep on that set, because I don't miss anything. I made a mistake my second cancer treatment, because my first one, I was really tired. I knocked out, but I still was like, oh, I could stay awake if I needed to. So the second cancer treatment that I went to, for my second chemo, it was kind of funny because I was so excited because the show that I like had come out. I was like, oh, I'm going to watch it. Like, I'm going to watch it. Like, I'm so excited to watch this. And I completely fell asleep like halfway through the episode. And then, of course, because it was Netflix, it just keeps going on. And I completely missed it. So then, it's not a big deal. You can just, rewind it and go back and watch it. But I was still frustrated that I spent, time downloading and deciding what shows that I wanted to watch, and then I didn't even watch it. So I learned my lesson. Not that it's a big lesson you need to learn, but I definitely decided after that I'm only going to put and download the shows that I want to watch, and not be sad if I end up sleeping through it again through chemo. Yeah, I made a video the other day. I decided to do a green makeup look because that's the color for Hodgkin lymphoma. And I really thought that it would be fun and kind of different, because a lot of the cancer diagnosis YouTube videos are always them like sitting down just like this. And they're always, which there's nothing wrong with that. Like, absolutely. I have no issues with that. But when I was going to make my video, I was trying to think of a way to not stand out, but just make it my own. And I didn't want to sit there and just tell, the story of how I got diagnosed, because one, it's just awkward for some reason. I don't know why. This to me doesn't feel as awkward live stream, even though nobody's watching in this very moment. It's not as awkward because I feel like at least if someone did come on and ask a question, I can answer it, and I'm interacting with someone. But for some reason, when I initially tried to sit down and film that video for the how I got diagnosed, I was so awkward. I couldn't get my words out. I have a slight speech impediment where I tend to smash words together or like rearrange a sentence. So I couldn't get through it. And then when I tried to edit it, it just looked like crap and sounded like crap because I couldn't not even complete full sentences. So I decided to do something a little bit easier for me and something I like to do, which is makeup. So I thought, okay, I'll film a makeup tutorial and then I'll be able to tell my story. Because I think even though there's a lot of similarities between, especially for Hodgkin's lymphoma, even though there's a lot of similarities of how you get diagnosed and what people's like the symptoms that they had. Everyone's story is so different, and it's just comforting. Like, even after I got diagnosed, I was watching people's stories on how they got diagnosed and was just like not comparing them, but just saying, oh my gosh, yeah, I thought that too, or I had that symptom. And everyone's story is so different, but I think it's also very comforting. It's definitely something that I really wanted to do, and I didn't know how to make it me. So I made it me, but I do make it because that's obviously what I like to do. Also, I really want an excuse to work with green eyeshadow because I love green eyeshadow, but it's really hard to wear that every single day, and I get judged for it. So I know some other videos that I would love to film in the future are, like maybe like an actual video of what I pack in my chemo bag, some of the foods that I like to eat, some of my favorite snacks that I like to eat, how I cope with some symptoms, fun activities that I really like to do. I've always been into like crafts and hobbies and all that. And one thing that I've been picking up that I really like doing recently, even though I already knew how to do it, it's just been fun for me to do, is knitting. Knitting's been a lot of fun, especially because I can, sit there and while I'm watching a movie or a show, I can sit there and knit, and it's entertaining and it's something to do. And then also too, because I have still, a good 4 months at least of treatment left that I know of. Hopefully by then I'll have some nice Christmas gifts that I can give to my family. That would be nice. Okay. I think I'm going to go with like a bronzy look. And I'm so sorry if this doesn't come up well on my camera. I'm using my laptop and it's like the most shittiest quality. And I'm really sorry about it. But just have to make do. Something that I really wanted to do today, but I wasn't able to make it happen, was I really wanted to go to the beach just because I miss going to the beach so much. And my roommates actually bought a huge umbrella that they put in the backyard, but it's light enough and small enough to be able to put into my car. But I can't really drive right now because I've been getting super nauseous when I drive for some reason. Just like my nausea just kicks in so bad. And if I can sit in the passenger seat and lay it down, then I'm okay. But and like sit back a little bit and have the wind blowing and close my eyes. But you can't really close your eyes and enjoy the wind while you're driving. So I need someone to go with me. And my boyfriend, Oscar, he works today, so he can't take me. And I have chemo tomorrow, so I'll be out probably for the week. So maybe next week I can attempt it. Does anyone else's nose run really bad when you're trying to focus on something? Like makeup wise, or even if you're studying, even if you're studying, I feel like my nose, every single time I do my makeup, my nose just runs. It's either that or it's allergies, which I never had allergies like before that I'm aware of, so I'd be really surprised if that was it. But just gonna clean this up a little right here. I accidentally got too much shadow. If you ever accidentally get shadow in your inner corner, if you just take a translucent powder, you can kind of buff it away like that. See? I love this brush, even though it's super thick and it's not a traditional eyeshadow brush. I feel like it just blends everything so well. And I love a blown out look too, so it works well for me. Maybe not for everyone, but you can hear my roommates talking. I really hope you can see that. I think some other videos that I'd like to film too is like maybe potentially vlogging, because I kind of think it would be, at least I know I would have thought this was cool. I think it would be really cool if there were to like have a video of like what chemo is like at the center. Like even though my chemo experience is going to be completely different from anyone else's, I just think it would just be a good idea, because that way, like I was so nervous for my first treatment. I get anxious about everything, but I was so nervous and I was so anxious. I don't know why. It was like when you go to school and it's like the first day of school and you're nervous because you don't know your teachers, you don't know the classes, you don't know where you're going, you don't know where everyone's at. And I made a bigger deal than it should have been. They gave me so much admin because I was nervous. But I feel like maybe if I made a video like that, it could potentially help, what other people might go through if they have to go to treatment for the first time. Because I would like a video like that before I had gone in. I think that would have made me slightly more comfortable, because I didn't quite know. I mean, like you know you're gonna go in, and if you have a port like I do, like I have my port scar right here. If you have a port, you know that they're gonna access it, but no one knows. I feel like you don't know what that's like until you actually have someone access support for you, or you've seen it. Like if you have a family member or a family friend or someone that you know that has a port that goes through cancer, and you see them get. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but getting your port access hurts like a mofo. It just does. It hurts so bad. And if you're able to get the lidocaine cream and you can put that on it, then it helps a lot. But accessing your port, if you don't have lidocaine, ooh, that is a pain I don't wish on anybody. But see, tips like that, like I think that would be so, like, even if it's just one person, if there's one person I could help through this experience, that would honestly, I would feel so much better, because I just want to be that person that can like help others. Especially as I think I feel so strongly about this as a young, adult, because I got diagnosed on my 22nd birthday. I got called and was told that I had cancer. So I think I just feel strongly about it, because I understand what it's like to go through and kind of be by yourself. I mean, I have my boyfriend and he's been my rock, but it's such a different experience when you don't have family to lean back on. Um, I used to live with my grandmother. She's the one who raised me. I don't have a relationship with my parents. And so I have my grandmother, but my grandmother is 80 years old and she doesn't live with me. She doesn't live very close to me. She can't drive. She has her own health issues going on. So going through this was a little bit nerve-wracking, this experience, because other than my boyfriend, I didn't really have someone to lean on. And luckily my boyfriend, Oscar's so strong. He's such a strong individual. If I needed to break down and cry to him and tell him how I was feeling, I would be able to. But I try not to, because I already depend so much on him. I don't want to give him that added stress of like me being unhappy, which I know is like wrong. I should be able to complain and say, if I'm having a bad day or not, or voice my unhappiness about what I'm going through. But I just want to be able to be someone that other people can easily relate to. Because it's the other thing I want to do about my channel. Like, there's other, outlets. Like, there's some really good communities, like on Reddit, for example. There's a really good lymphoma community, and they're amazing. That whole community, everyone in there has been so helpful, especially in terms of getting like diagnosed and what to ask for. But I really want to help people. Like, I really, I felt so alone, and I still feel alone. I still feel alone all the time. I get really bummed out about, not being able to go out, not being able to participate when I normally do, even just working. Like, I never in my life would have thought how much I miss working, but I do. I miss being a normal person, and cancer strips you of that. Even if I'm lucky that I have Hodgkin's lymphoma and that it's curable, but depending which type you have. But even then, I still suffer the same way that other cancer patients might be suffering too. And I feel like there's not a ton of awareness for adolescent young adults, because you see like the commercials and stuff of like the little kids getting cancer, all the ones are at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And so I feel like there's a little bit of children's awareness, and then you have obviously a lot of awareness, quite a bit of awareness for older people. Like, you see commercials all the time being like, you might have this, or you might have that, especially like prostate cancer with men, but I feel like there's not very much awareness for young adult cancer. Like, you never hear about that weird gap between 18 to, I think it's 30, 35 is considered young adult. And you never hear about those people getting cancer because it's common, but it's not all over, Instagram or Facebook. It's not all over the social media common until you go looking for it. And then you find these communities, and it's shocking because you're like, I didn't know it was this big and it existed this much. When I was first getting diagnosed, I saw my first doctor, who's young, which doesn't mean anything, but in this case, he was a young doctor. And when I voiced my concern, because I had called a nurse, and said, I have the symptoms, should I go in? And she said yes immediately. When I was voicing my concern and saying, hey, I'm really nervous that this might be lymphoma, or a lymphoma. I don't know if it was Hodgkin's lymphoma or non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He said to me, no, it's super rare. I only see lymphoma in people that are Hodgkin's lymphoma, especially in people that are older. So I don't think you're at any risk for lymphoma. And I was just a little bit shocked, because when you go online and you look up Hodgkin's lymphoma, it's very, 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 very common to have in your early 20s. Actually, you're considered old, like if you're 30 and you get it, unless you're over the age of like 55 or 65. Then it's also very common. But the biggest group of people that get diagnosed with Hodgkin's is when in their 20s. So that was a little frustrating because he didn't take me seriously. And I explained this all in my last video, but that was the other thing that was frustrating. I didn't know how to be an advocate for myself in the very beginning, and I should have been an advocate for myself when I talked to my second doctor, because my first doctor, like I said, he didn't believe me. He wanted to do all these other tests that had nothing to do with what was going on. luckily, after reading that lymphoma page on Reddit, I learned how to be an advocate for myself, and I was able to say, you know what, I don't like the way you're going about things, and I want a second opinion, and I did, and I'm glad I did, because that second doctor is the one that pushed everything and got it going, and I don't think I would have been diagnosed as fast as I had been if I had stayed with that first doctor. And that's something I wish someone had told me sooner when I was watching the videos. Um, and that's why I want to make a channel. Also, it's fun talking to other cancer patients. Not fun like it's enjoyable, as in like, hey, guess what? You have this disease that might be able to kill you fun. It's like people that can relate to you, and it's kind of nice. My grandmother, sometimes she will call me and say, hey, I need you to come visit me. And I said, okay. And then I'll hear her coughing, and I'll say, hey, are you sick right now? She's like, yeah, I'm sick. I'm like, I can't come see you then, because I don't have a very good immune system, and I can get sick very easily. I'm very immune compromised right now. And she just doesn't get it. I'll be like, really? Immune compromised? So it's hard for other people to relate in your life, especially in your 20s, because I've had coworkers that will text me and say, hey, let's come out and let's go drinking. And I say, I can't, because one, really not supposed to drink on treatment. And two, I can't because I have chemo either the next following days, or I'm just really tired, or I'm having bone pain, or, my body hurts, or I feel really nauseous. Like there's usually so many other factors that play into like why you can't do something. And then I get the typical response of, well, you don't look sick. Yeah, well, I can put makeup on and come across as not sick, but I am. And that's just, sorry, I'm looking for certain help. And that's just what happens. So something like that can be very frustrating, because people, they see you think, oh my gosh, you're better. And it's like, that's not true. I'm not better. I still have my issues. Although some great news is that I had a PET scan a week ago, and I found out that my tumors have shrunk. So I'm happy about that. The chemo is working. Made me really sad at first. I was really upset. Nervous. Typical scanxiety, as they call it. I think the thing I'm most excited for is sushi. I cannot wait for sushi. And salad. It's so funny because I'm not even like I crave salads person, but like recently I've been just craving salad, and I can still eat salad. I just have to be really, really careful. I have to make sure that I get through all the food myself, wash it. You're not supposed to eat cold cuts, or at least be very careful about cold cuts, because they can have bacteria on them. So you have to be super cautious when you make your salad, because everything has to be clean, everything has to be cooked properly. And then I can't even go out and enjoy a salad. I just want to enjoy the salad. And I can't believe I want to enjoy a salad. Who wants a salad? And then vegans. But I'm not vegan, so. Oh, I really don't eat very much animal product. My uncle's vegan, and he doesn't live here. He lives in Kansas, but he likes to send me all these recipes and stuff. And they've actually been really good. I've tried some of them, and I really like them. Even though they're vegan recipes, there's nothing wrong with being vegan. I think if you can do that lifestyle and it works for you, especially people that have health problems that need to do that lifestyle, that's great. If it works for you, keep doing your thing. Sorry, it's really hard to talk when I put mascara on. Also, I'm really sad because I normally have pretty long lashes, but they stand out so much now from chemo. Luckily, I still have my eyebrows on. I'm gonna be really sad if my eyebrows end up coming off because it's the one thing in makeup that I can't do very well. I'm not good at drawing eyebrows on for the life of me. I know I don't have anyone asking me questions, otherwise I'd answer questions right now. But that's okay. I had family and friends that when I told them I was diagnosed, they told me, they said that I should make a YouTube channel. And well, I guess they didn't say directly a YouTube channel, but they did say that I should post on Twitter, make a Twitter account, or make an Instagram account. They did say YouTube, just not exclusively. Make a Facebook account, talking about cancer and how I got diagnosed and all this stuff, and that way I can bring more awareness to it. But I'm still I haven't even told anyone about this channel, and I don't know why I get so nervous telling anyone about it, but I just do. It's just how I am. Let's see if I can put lashes on. I'm not that bad at lashes, but putting them on camera seems like a task in itself. One of the things that I really appreciate in my life right now is the fact that I have loving and supporting boyfriends. Because even if you don't have that, I really hope that if you do get diagnosed, you have someone that's with you, whether it's a friend, family, or just someone in your life that can help you. Because if I didn't have him, I don't think I'd have anyone to help me through this process. And that's something that I think about sometimes at night, and it's really hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. Way harder than my Benadryl pill. The one thing about cancer that I wish someone had told me is that it really changes the people around you. And you never would have thought that. The way people react to you, the way they treat you. I have some people that I thought were my friends, and they ended up not being my friends. I would do almost anything for them, but then ever since I got diagnosed, I haven't even heard from them. And that was another hard pill to swallow, and I kind of wish someone had told me that going in. At least that way, I think I would have been able to mentally prepare for it, what to do if I didn't have, someone had told me that. I just would have appreciated it. Because then that way, even though it still is personal, I don't think I would have taken it as personally. I would have accepted it quicker and moved on with my life just a little bit better if I had known that that's what was to come. And it sucks because you shouldn't be treated a certain way, in a negative way, just because you get diagnosed, but it happens. I think it's a mix of some people just don't know how to cope with it, and I think it's also, it's really hard for them, especially maybe they knew someone or they had someone in their life or still know someone in their life that's battling it, and it's just another add-on. I think some people just don't know what to say, which I feel like a lot of things in my life, a lot of people don't know what to say about certain things when I tell them, but that's okay. It's just a really personal thing, and I think sometimes if they don't have a way to relate to it, it's harder for them to be around you, and it's hard to fathom what you could possibly be going through. I think that's why people cope with it differently. I've had some people where they're so emotional about it, and some people where they just kind of very blunt and like, oh, okay, like you seem like to be in a good attitude, so I'm going to be in a good attitude. But everyone reacts differently. Not everyone reacts the same way. My grandma cried a lot. I have a couple friends that cried. I have one friend though. It's not going to be funny to everyone, but it's funny to me, and she's super blunt about it, and I kind of love it because it's like the one person like that I can call and be like, "Life's a bitch. This sucks," and she'll be like, "Yep, it is. I agree. Let's get your ass out of bed and go watch a movie or something." And I love her for that because she's the one that's keeping it real in a way that doesn't treat me any different, and I enjoy that because everyone else treats me different, and it can be frustrating. Man, prop to YouTubers, they're able to just put lashes on like no big deal. Although I really do love these lashes. I think they add a good amount of lash without being too over dramatic. These are the Style 817, and I love them. They're just so wispy and so very thin band line too. Super cheap. I think it's like $9 for that pack of 4, maybe $12. I always have a bad habit where like I don't wait for the glue to dry, and then I put them on, and then they move around. Also, and this one's my better eye, so if I struggle with that eye, I can't even imagine what my next eye is about to look like right now. Another thing that I really miss doing ever since I got diagnosed is going to the farmer's market. Loved going to the farmer's market and getting some like fresh vegetables and getting fresh fruit, especially, which I can still do. I just have to be really careful about anything that's like touched by a lot of people because I mean that's just fruit in general, but I just have to be careful about getting produce like that is been, out in the street. It's dirty. There's cars going by. There's people touching it. Most of that stuff is luckily organic, which is a big plus. But it's just a step of caution that you have to take when buying food like that, especially if it's not prepackaged, which it's usually not in a farmer's market, which is why I've always liked it because I really try to not drink a lot of plastic. I know you see the one water bottle back there and then my boyfriend's core water, but we have our little reusables that you can see in the back, which, by the way, so sorry for my background. That's like my boyfriend's shrine of it's Oscar's shrine for Michael Jordan because he loves him. But yeah, I try to use reusable stuff as much as I can. And so that's the one thing about going to the super. And I can't go and pick it out myself. So I usually have Oscar go for me just because I don't want to risk the chance of like getting dirty, like seeing someone. I can wear the mask, but it's been so hot this summer, and I hate going out and wearing a mask. I'd rather just stay home in my, clean little abode. Sorry, I'm probably not going to talk for this, and this will be awkward. My bad. Oh my god, the worst is when it sticks to your tweezers. This eye is always so much harder. All right, I think I got it. On this eye, this inner corner never wants to stick, ever. And it's so frustrating. I don't know why I can never get it to stick. I don't know if it's because like it's never enough glue, or if it's too much glue, or if I'm not cutting them right. I mean, I like to trim my eyelashes actually quite a bit for my fake ones, just because I hate them being too long and then coming too far here in the corner. But even then, like they hate to stick. And then sometimes when I get my lashes, like they'll be like the teeniest, tiniest, like that much space of like little plastic like lash extend, and there's no lashes on it. So I usually cut those off, and that helps a lot. But it's still inner corners. You never wanna. So my eyelashes are super thin and like they're falling out. And my eyelashes, I don't know if anyone else does this, but my eyelashes like in the corners will like flip down and curl down and like into my eye, and it always happens in like these corners and in the inner corners, and it's so frustrating because I'll like tell people like, oh yeah, don't you hate how like your eyelashes will grow into your eye? And they're like, no, you're crazy. And no one ever relates to me. So I don't know, maybe it's just a few people that I know, but it always happens to me and it makes me so frustrated. This bronzer, by the way, oh my god, it smells so good. I love products that smell good. I know that's like not a very popular, opinion to have, but this, my sister bought it for me the other day. It's so cute. It's like this tart lip oil, and it smells like actual candy, and it's the best. I love this because, as you'll soon learn on my channel, I'm not really a lipstick person. I think lipstick looks so pretty on people, but I can care less about it, and I can never seem to make it look good on me for some reason. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but my lips naturally have like very white slash like light pink complexion. And if I try to line it with lip liner, it just looks fake. Like it looks like I'm trying to overline my lips. And if I leave it and like just put lipstick on like everywhere else, but not like it's mostly right here where you can see it. If I don't put lipstick there, then you can like see this line of like it looks like I licked lipstick off. So I can't win. Like I don't know why. Like just be pigmented or not. Also, it's so annoying, like balding, and like I always wear a cap, so like the top of my head is like white as could be, but the rest of my body isn't that white, so I don't know what to do about that. I mean, I guess I could put makeup in there, but let's see if I can get enough on there. I don't think it really makes a difference. It just puts a lot of hair in my brush. Maybe if I got like an overly pigmented bronzer or something, it might work. I also really like to put a little bit of bronzer right here, because I think it make me look a little bit more sun-kissed. I think it blends in with the rest of the bronzer just a little bit better. Yeah, I think that looks all right. All right, my favorite highlighter is this highlighter, the what's it? How Many Carrots by Fenty, Rihanna. I don't know if the cameras will be able to pick this up, but this, look how glittery it is. But it's such the good type of glittery. It makes your skin look very wet, but in like a nice way. I never put this though like on my nose or my face right there in the middle or anything, just because I think it catches too much light there, and it kind of makes it sweaty. But oh my gosh, on my cheeks, I just love it. And then I love to go over top of it with the Becca Moonstone one, and swirl around a little bit. I like to go over it just because this is such a softer highlight, a more of like a natural glow within type of highlight. And then I like to take that and then add this one to my face because this one is not sparkly and it just adds a little bit of sheen. Yeah, I guess this is all done. This is be my look. Put some spray on it. I'm supposed to go meet my sister for dinner tonight. So at her house, she's making me some food for tonight. So yeah, this is the completed look. This eyelash is still a little long. It doesn't look that bad in person, but for some reason on the camera I can see that it's like lifted. It looks lifted right here, but it's not. Yeah, and just let this. I have a wig. I have a gray wig. It's actually right here, but I need to brush her out. But I like wearing this, even though it's not a conventional color. It's still fun to wear. Probably my favorite wig that I have so far. It's only the wig that I have, but it's still one of my favorites. And then I have this blonde one that I like to wear sometimes, but the parting on it is a little silly, and it doesn't fit very well, but the Cancer Care Board Center gave it to me. And this one works well too. It's a pretty color, but I don't really like the curls on it. It looks very, very fake, in my opinion. But this one has a much better part. The other one looks a little bit too fake, in my opinion, so I tend not to wear it. But yeah, those are my wigs. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say before I log off. I have 2 viewers that looked and then left, but that's okay. If you guys watch this and I have my other videos, I really hope you like this. I'm going to try really hard to make more. I think I might maybe vlog tomorrow if I can. I don't have a very good camera. It's just my iPhone, but I would love to be there for anyone that is going through this or knows someone that's going through this, especially if you're a cancer caregiver. It's really hard to go through, and sometimes people just want someone to talk to, and that's really what I would love to be, or love to give advice. I love to say what I do, how I cope with it. I think one of the reasons why I really wanted to make this live stream today is because I was hoping that if anyone wanted to reach out and wanted to ask questions, maybe I could answer them. If you do watch this, it means a lot to me, and I hope that I can give you any insight. I can't wait to make more videos for you, and I hope you like this makeup look, and you chilled and just hung out and enjoyed yourself. So yeah, thank you guys.